You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. I'm here with Ken, Julia, and Matt. How are all of you?
Great. How are you today?
Doing good. I was showing Ken some videos of podcasts that I've been watching.
Yeah, our last guest today on the podcast is John
Goblikon.
Oh, good name.
It's a podcast called Right Now, and he's the lead singer of a death metal band called Necro Goblikon, but he's a very business-savvy goblin who interviews comedians, and he's hilarious. So I very much recommend you checking out John Goblikon.
Yeah, stop listening to this episode and wait till next week.
Well, yeah. Well, hold on. This is going to be a great one, too. So.
Okay.
No, this is going to be really good. Julia, you said the household is sick. Are you surviving?
Well, we're making it through, guys. We basically have stock in Kleenex and Johnson & Johnson products at this point. But hey, that's life with two small children.
Well, hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And Matt, are you surviving?
Every day is a new battle, but so far I'm good.
Well, we'll miss Jeff. He was a little under the weather today.
Yeah, Jeff was a little under the weather, and we mean literally. He made a costume of clouds above him, and he's walking around with simulated rain. Kind of like a cartoon.
Classic Jeff.
Classic
That's
Jeff.
okay.
But hopefully he's doing well. But we're super excited for our guest host today. We can't wait for you all to hear where he's recording from. We'll let him talk about that. But coming to us from San Francisco originally, but we'll let him clue us in to where he is right now. But really excited to have Yael Wylie here with us. How are you, Yael?
Hey, I'm doing great, Neal. Thank you. And yeah, I'm also a big fan of John Goblikon. He does a great Fred Durst impression, if you can find that. Is that the video you just watched?
Yeah. We watched that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So Yael Wylie, also known as a lithiometrist. I live and work in San Francisco, California, where I run hella nerdy games and trivia. We do a couple of local trivia nights in San Francisco and do a lot of private event stuff. And today I'm talking to you from a Southern Pacific caboose in the Santa Cruz Redwoods. My wife got this for a birthday present for me. It was just my birthday about a week ago. So been celebrating my birthday out here and thought I'd record this episode as the last thing we did here before we head back up to the city this morning.
Well, happy birthday. And as we said before we recorded, it might be the first time we've ever heard anyone recording from a caboose.
Apparently they were very cheap at one point. This guy bought it for 5 cents a pound. So it came out to about $2,000 that he was able to get this for. So I don't know what cabooses go for now, but they were affordable some 30 years ago.
Well, look how they sell it.
If only most vehicles were sold by the pound.
Yeah.
Well, see, yeah. I mean, this might
Brazilian
be good.
cabooses are the most expensive, from what I've heard.
Well done, Matt. Well, we're all millennials
I'm
now.
Offended.
We're all millennials now, so I feel like we can't even afford a good caboose anymore, like our parents
that's right.
could. So.
We got to take a middle car, or what is
Yeah, right. We're so excited, Yael, to have you here. So it's going to be Julia and Matt versus me and Ken. Julia, what is your team name going to be today?
Well, we were inspired by Yael's locations. We're going to be Training Day.
All right.
Training Day.
King Kong got nothing on both of them.
I know we chose a name, but let me change it.
Okay.
How about the caboose is loose?
I like that. The caboose is loose.
With a name like that, we can't lose. Oh, we probably still will.
That's true. So we have the...
You need an exclamation point at the end.
Oh, let me put that. Yeah. So we have Training Day versus the caboose is loose, exclamation point. Yael, any preference on the rules read?
Yeah, I mean, if Darren can do his best Thomas the Tank Engine impression, I think that'd be great.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
You're a winner, baby.
That really brought me back to my childhood days.
Yeah, who was it Ringo Starr was on the show, right? As the conductor at one point?
Yeah, and George Carlin.
Yeah.
George Carlin
was the other one.
Both of those things come up in trivia way too often.
That's what I thought. And wasn't Alec Baldwin on the show at one point, or he did a voice or something?
He did the movie.
The movie. Okay.
All right, so everybody knows.
Everyone knows. We got it.
Look at
All
that.
right.
We've already got
We're
some
asking the
trivia out of the
questions.
way
Everybody
here.
else
Yeah,
is
hopefully
in.
that
All
way
of
I'm more
Yael's,
screwed.
gets all of his questions because it's all train related today.
Everything was train related today. Yeah, let's all go home. No, but
we're
really,
ready.
for the first round here today, I do have 10 general knowledge questions with categories for each of them. There is a theme across the answers. So the first team to message me the theme will get a bonus 2 points if you're the first ones to lock it in. But either team for locking in the theme correctly, you get 5 points, but you only get one chance to guess the theme. So make sure you have it and that you can lock it in. You can just message me in the chat when you think you have it. And we'll go from there. All right.
Okay.
So round one, question one, the category is movies. Lambda, 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 and Omega Mu fight back against Alpha, Beta, and Pi, Delta, Pi in what 1984 screwball comedy?
All right, Neal's familiar with the films, and we're locked in.
Yes, the classic Greek life movies. Which one were you thinking, Julia?
So, I mean, if I'm thinking 1980s, like fratty movies, the first thing that comes to mind is Animal House, but that doesn't seem to work for this for me.
No,
But how
I think
about
this is more
Revenge
of
of the
a
Nerds?
There's more of a revenge angle to this one for sure.
Yeah.
I rushed Lambda. I did not get in, unfortunately, at my community college because it didn't exist. I think I'm good with Revenge of the Nerds.
We agree. We think it's Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep, both teams are correct. The answer is Revenge of the Nerds. 10 points to start us out. Great job. All right. Question two, category is spaghetti. What rapper's 2024 hit Houdini was described by Stereo Gum critic Tom Brahan as, quote, full of hack-ass jokes about how everything is too woke now?
We can lock in.
That could be any musician who was popular in the early 2000s, it feels like.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, not Kid Rock, which also describes his entire new discography. Julie, do you know this one?
I heard rapper in 2024 and then went, Matt has this.
Yeah. Well, he was too full on Mom's spaghetti. I think this is Eminem.
Yeah, we knew that Steve Miller really enjoyed Eminem sampling Abracadabra for this song, so we said Eminem.
Yes, both the teams are correct. And yes, spaghetti was a clue. Good job catching that, Matt. It is Eminem. Perfect game for both teams so far. Let's go into question three. Category is literature. What iconic novel, first collected from its serialized edition and published in 1844, was followed by two sequels entitled 20 Years After and The Vicomte of Bragelonne?
We're locked in.
Julia, do you have any idea?
My initial reaction is A Tale of Two Cities, just because I feel like there was a stupid sequel to it. I didn't realize there would have been a third one to it too, but
Right.
French wise, that seems to make sense to me.
Okay. I heard, much like the last one, I heard book and I said Julia's got it. So
Yeah, so we'll say Tale of Two Cities.
Okay, Tale of Two Cities. What do y'all say? Caboose is loose.
I think you guys got the French book angle, but I think it's a different one. We're saying Three Musketeers.
Nice.
And Caboose is loose got it. It's Three Musketeers. Good job.
Nice.
when Ken locked in so fast, I was like, it might be the Count of Monte Cristo or
Some sort of
Three
Dumas.
Musketeers. Yeah.
Is Dumas. All right, so it looks like Julia also is smiling because she knows the theme. And looking at the answers, I think we know the theme too. So let's keep it to the end for the listeners, though. So
Okay.
we'll message and confirm whether we got points or not.
Keep all your Snickers to yourselves, you guys. Don't let it out.
And both teams did answer correctly. We're going to give the extra 2 points to the train team. What is it? Training day. All right, so you guys get an extra 2 points for 7, and we get 5 because we were correct. And we will reveal the secret theme at the end of this round.
Cool. So hopefully that theme will help you get some of these. Let's go into number 4. The category is Trivia in Space. In about 4.5 billion years, What two galaxies, the largest two galaxies in what astronomers call the local group, are expected to collide to form one supergalaxy? I'll give you 5 points per correct galaxy.
All right, we are locked in, partially thanks to the clue. So don't forget to use those, people.
All right, Matt. How many galaxies can you name?
Oh, it's only one.
Yeah.
And we're in it. It's
Yeah.
the Milky Way.
Milky Way. Okay, here's the other galaxy I can name. The Alpha Centauri.
Oh, okay.
That's the only other galaxy I can name, though.
Well, that is a second galaxy.
Yeah.
And we get 5 points for one of them. And one of them's less super than the other. But that's okay.
So we'll go with Milky Way and Alpha Centauri.
Okay. Yeah, we said Milky Way as well, and I believe the closest neighbor to us is actually Andromeda.
Yes, both teams getting points, but Caboose is loose, getting the full 10 there. It is the Milky Way and the Andromeda. And they want to call it the Milkdromeda. Alpha Centauri is a star group, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a group of stars. And but they want to call the new super galaxy the Milkdromeda galaxy. So send your letters to NASA. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we'll all be dead by the time that happens.
Yeah, that might get lost to time.
That's like the Seinfeld episode when Elaine's boss, they named the water companies terribly, and then she ruins the deal. She's like, that's a horrible name.
Oh, yeah, Moland. Yeah.
Moland, yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. Let's go on to question 5. Category is stage names. What is the stage name of Peter Gene Hernandez, a Hawaii-born musical artist who has collaborated with Mark Ronson, Anderson .Paak, and most recently, Lady Gaga?
Lock it in.
Oh, locked in as well.
Oh, double
Both
lock.
teams.
I was going to give you the opportunity to chat it out, guys.
We'll chat
it's
it
always
out.
us.
All right, we'll chat it out. Here we go. Even though we're locked in, I'm going to pull it back. Here we go.
Okay.
So we need a guy who's worked with Lady Gaga.
Okay, let me tell you a quick story.
Okay.
Here I am in Tokyo, 2023, in the Tokyo Dome for a Giants game, and on the big screen, suddenly, hey, this is Bruno Mars, and I'm coming to Tokyo Dome. And I'm like, oh, great. So,
Did he
you
owe
stayed
people
until
money
you
or
played.
something?
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was live.
Well, yeah, I agree with Ken. We think it's Bruno Mars.
We also think it's Bruno Mars, and that's because learning stage names has been one of my trivia things that's just been absorbing for
It's a
years
good
and
thing
years.
to do.
Yeah.
It sure is a good thing to do, and you're both correct. It is Bruno Mars. Should we do a score check? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a score check after 5 questions. Looks like training day is at 42 with those bonus 7 points. So they're the answer to everything. And the caboose is loose, betting perfect right now, thankfully, with the 5 extra bonus points for also knowing the theme. We're at 55.
Wow. Good
Cool.
scores.
Great job, everybody. All right, let's keep it going into round 1, question 6. Category is new uses for old words. What word is used in video game development to describe a period of compulsory overtime and in board game culture to describe a complicated chain of results that may come from certain decisions?
All right, we have a bad guess. This is the first real stumper here for us, and it looks like maybe Matt and Julia too. So what are you guys thinking?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of engineering terms that I've heard. So I've heard of a scrum as okay, this is a thing we have to focus on for a little bit, but I can't make that work.
Scrum,
with
I think of rugby first.
Okay.
And that doesn't apply here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the complicated chain of results that may come from certain decisions. So it's not like a rabbit hole, but I think it's, if you're looking at maybe a trail of breadcrumbs or trying to think of anything that can fit there, gumdrops,
Skittles.
something that I don't know. What do you think you want to go with? Do you have anything?
No, you go. You pick one that you like.
I think that this is a Twizzler. We're gonna go Twizzler.
Not a bad guess. Like I said, we're picking something that fits the category that's maybe a little less popular, but we're going to say spree.
All right, so the first double stumper of the game then. Neither team getting points here. Maybe if I had said In the video game development part, it can sometimes be used as a 2-word phrase where the second one is time. The word we're looking for here is crunch. Crunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if a game has a lot of crunch, if it's a crunchy board game, right, that means it has a lot of very complicated directions that it could go in. Settlers of Catan, for example, an extremely crunchy game.
Yeah.
They need to make an
I
edible.
thought about crunch time, but I didn't relate it to the category.
I didn't either, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go into number 7. Category is wearables. A heart-shaped lock, a letter of the alphabet, an infinity loop, and a butterfly are all popular choices of what kind of collectible manufactured by Pandora?
Oh, yes.
All right, we're locked in.
Cool. Training
Well,
day.
Matt, have you ever had to purchase any of these for any lucky
No,
ladies?
and nowadays they just want the little gems for their Crocs, so you don't even have to get these anymore. It's great. It's way cheaper.
Gibbets are way cheaper than charms.
Yes, we also said charms.
All right. Good recovery on both teams there. You both got it correct. It is charms.
I love that Matt's, thing. I'm not going to go as far as Pandora for you, but I'll get you some gibbets.
So I think at this point we've been talking about the theme enough in kind of our side conversations that we can just reveal what it is to the audience, yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so both teams did get the theme correct. It is candy. So they've been using that as ways to guess around some of these and can into the future now.
Yes, which would explain why I called something a Twizzler for no reason.
Sticking out your gap for the Twizzler. All right. Round 1, question 8. Category is punk music. Name the band formed in California's East Bay by Blake Schwarzenbach in the 80s. Their album Bivouac is considered a major influence on post-punk and emo.
I think we can lock in.
I'll trust you.
All right, great. Training day is locked in. Caboose is loose. You
So
can
what's a good-
air your thoughts aloud?
What's a good band name for that has candy, like Good and Plenty, Mike and Ike, Junior Mint? I don't know.
Mike and Ike's a duo.
The Junior Mint. Let's see. Reese's
It's
Pieces.
a junior mint.
It's a
It's very refreshing.
Mentos. No, that's not a candy, really. I guess kind of is. A
I
mint.
wouldn't consider it.
It's like a
It's
mint.
pretty bad.
Yeah. I can't think of any other. I'm trying to think of candy brands that sound like band names I've heard of before, but
Shock Tarts.
a Jawbreaker maybe.
Jawbreaker. Yeah.
That sounds like a
that's
good
it.
punk name.
That's it. It's Jawbreaker for sure.
Oh, he gets to it.
All right, they're locked in with Jawbreaker. Matt, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I was thinking you could have gone with the clue about the classic 90s dark comedy Jawbreaker, but this one also works. So we're going to say Jawbreaker as well.
Yep, both teams are correct. Nice job pulling it out at the
Nice.
last minute there, Neal.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what would be a cool name, and yeah, got to Jawbreaker.
And then I was like,
Jawbreaker
that is
just
a band.
reunited recently. Yeah. All right, round 1, question 9. Category is sitcom families. What was the name of the second oldest son of the Wilkerson family, just behind Francis, and one ahead of the titular character? He was played for the most part by Justin Burfield.
Who are these people? Oh, you know it? You shook your head like you know who these people are.
Yes. Yes. I know what family this is. Hold on.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. I'm good. I got this. Lock it in. We're locked. Training day is locked in.
All right, cool. Caboose is loose. You can talk out loud.
I figured it out. It's this. This is Malcolm in the Middle, I think.
Oh,
And,
that makes sense.
The second oldest was Reese.
Training day, what do you say?
I also said Reese.
Yeah, Reese is correct. Good job, everybody. Reasoning out that that's Malcolm in the Middle. Points to both teams.
That was a well-laid question.
Thank you. All right, final question of the round. Number 10. Category is sports. What is the name of the traditional European pub game, which is still played in parts of England, from which the modern sport of 10-pin bowling originates?
Julie, you have the worst poker
All right,
face
so
on the
Julia
planet.
is dancing.
Julia is
so-
dancing.
I got
yeah.
a bing. I got a
All right,
bing
I think
to the
she's
head.
got it. All
Yeah.
right, so they're locked in. What do we have? I said bocce ball. That's not a candy.
Yeah, and it
Pizza
reminds
place.
me of duck pin bowling, but
If it was a candy, it would taste like tomato sauce.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh yeah, duck pin.
Or what's the thing where you slide it on the?
What about like duds?
Shuffleboard.
Oh, duds.
Like a little game of duds.
That sounds like a good game.
It doesn't, but
I like
A
it.
terrible game.
we'll say duds.
Duds.
All right,
Julia, what did you say?
This is one that I said too early in the game, but I think for number 10, Skittles fits.
And you're correct. It is Skittles. Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody ever wants to play duds with me.
Matt, Ken's all alone at the bar playing duds by himself. All right,
Great
cool.
round there. Great round there, Yael. It looks like after 10 questions in the first round, Training Day picked up that great last 10 points there, bringing their total to 82, and the Caboose is loose ! With 85. So only 3 points separate both teams. Before we get to the swing round, just wanted to give a little shout out to Patreon. If you'd like to join us over there at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, you can get over 60 hours of bonus content, including weekly.
It's got to be up to 70 hours.
It's probably 70 or 80, yeah. Trivia bonuses every week written by us. Also, the crop drops and fun things like that, stickers and other great perks. But probably the best perk of all is not having to hear us do ads twice a episode.
What a treat.
Yeah. So for as little as $1 a month, get rid of all the ads, and for as little as $5 a month, you get all that extra bonus content.
And remember, all the extra episodes we're dropping on the main feed are also courtesy of our patron supporters. So if you want to keep this content coming, we do need your support over at Patreon. So thank you so much.
Cool. So for your swing round today, we're going to do sports movies. I'm glad that Neal and Matt are on separate teams today for this category. So how this works is that I am going to give you a sport. I want you to tell me the highest grossing movie that prominently features that sport. Highest grossing here is in terms of worldwide box office gross, not adjusted for inflation. I'll also give you the year that it came out to make it easier for you. And I should note that not all of these could really be considered, quote, sports movies. For example, the highest grossing movie with auto racing is Furious 7, right? It's not really an auto racing movie. So might take a little bit of lateral thinking to get them right. And I'll go through them kind of real quick, and then we'll give you some time to deliberate. So, number 1, baseball, 1992. Number 2, bowling, 1998. Number 3, ice hockey, 2024. Number 4, martial arts, 1973. Number 5, competitive dance, 2012. Number 6, track and field, 1981. Number 7, tennis, 2024. Number 8, surfing, 2007. Number 9, Australian rules football, 2002. And number 10 is the highest grossing movie for both American football and table tennis, 1994.
All right, something to chew on there. We'll be thinking about this, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Brittany. The Trivia Adventure Calendar is back. We had an amazing year last year with nearly 50 writers writing, over 200 players playing, 3 graders grading, 1 partridge in a pear tree, and importantly, over $1,500 donated to each charity. This year we have 60 writers, so not only are we excited to bring you 2 quizzes per day December 1st through the 24th, we're excited to announce the 12 Days of Quizmas, which will start on December 26th and run until Epiphany, which is also a great thing to have while answering questions. And if you're wondering if I'm proud of that one, extremely. The suggested donation this year is $30, with 80% of all proceeds being donated to Trans Lifeline and World Central Kitchen. There is also a pay what you want option available. You can get a calendar for yourself or as a gift by going to ko-fi.com/triviaadvent. That's ko-fi.com/triviaadvent. On behalf of myself, Jay, Quincy, Tim, Mike, and Chris, thank you for making this a success last year and for your continued generosity this year. And from all of us, happy holidays and happy adventuring.
the creators of the popular science show with millions of YouTube subscribers comes the Minute Earth podcast. Every episode of the show dives deep into a science question you might not even know you had. But once you hear the answer, you'll want to share it with everyone you know. Why do rivers curve? Why did the T-Rex have such tiny arms? And why do so many more kids need glasses now than they used to? Spoiler alert, it isn't screen time. Our team of scientists digs into the research and breaks it down into a short, entertaining explanation, jam-packed with science facts and terrible puns. Subscribe to Minute Earth wherever you like to listen.
Steve Cubine and Nan McNamara's podcast, From Beneath the Hollywood Sign.
Mary Astor has been keeping a diary.
Mary writes everything down.
And so this torrid affair with George S. Kaufman is chronicled on a daily basis.
In great detail. And Ike pulls out a box and gives McAllister a ring saying, here's something to remember me by. This article caused Daryl Zanuck to hit the roof.
Actress Ruth Roman followed that up with playing a foil to Betty Davis in Beyond the Forest. I mean, if you can stand toe-to-toe with her, boy.
And she does, because she plays the daughter of the man that Betty Davis kills out on the hunting trip.
And it's directed by King Vidor, so he's no slouch.
How do you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
Speaking of the Oscars, talking about what I call beginner's luck, it's all about the actors and actresses who won an Oscar on their very first film.
Get your fix of old Hollywood from Steve and Nan on the podcast From Beneath the Hollywood Sign.
And we are back from our deliberations, ready to find out the answers for the swing round.
Yeah, great swing round, Yael. Let's see what we got.
All right, so number one, baseball, 1992. What did you say, Caboose is loose?
We think this is a league of their own.
Oh, no, I talked us out of that. I said Field of Dreams.
And it is League of Their Own.
I didn't realize that made a bundle of money, but I'm glad it did.
I thought it was earlier. That was my thing.
All right, number two, bowling, 1998.
Clearly, you're not a golfer.
We said Big Lebowski.
We also said The Big Lebowski.
And that is correct. Points to both teams. Number three, a new one here, ice hockey, 2024.
Thank you to my nieces that we took to their first movie together. I had never seen Inside Out 1, but I know they played a lot of hockey in Inside Out 2, so that's what we said.
Yeah, we had heard that. None of us have seen it, but we said Inside Out 2.
Yes, I also saw it, and the entire movie does take place inside a hockey camp and inside the main character's mind, of course. It is Inside Out 2. Number four, martial arts, 1973.
We went with Enter the Dragon.
I had nothing, and Matt went with Game of Death.
Enter the Dragon is correct. Number five,
Who is in that?
competitive dance, 2012. I feel like this was the most argued over one on both teams.
Yeah, we, come watch the game with me. Come on. Yeah, we said Silver Linings Playbook.
I would argue. I can't believe that's not football.
Yeah, that's it.
We said we couldn't decide on which step up we wanted, but we went with step up 3.
And it is indeed Silver Linings Playbook. Good job catching that. Number 6, track and field, 1981.
Yeah, we went with Chariots of Fire.
So did we. And running in slow motion, though.
And Julia is running in slow motion as she says it. Yes, Chariots of Fire is correct. Number 7, tennis, also this year.
We went Challengers.
Mm-hmm. Big Zendaya fan. We said Challengers.
Yep, sexy tennis movie Challengers is correct. Number 8, surfing, 2007.
This one we debated over a little bit. We weren't sure if it was the movie where the shark bites off the girl's arm, but we remember Blue Crush being very popular, so that's what we went with.
We also went with Blue Crush.
And this is the first one neither team is getting. It's actually a movie about surfing penguins. It's called Surf's Up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, isn't John Cena in that? I think he's in one of those. I believe
if he was, I didn't see him. I don't know. Number 9, Australian Rules Football from 2002. Did you know this one, Neil?
I did. I haven't seen it. I knew of it. And I believe it's just called Australian Rules.
Yeah, we debated a few movies, Rescuers Down Under, various other Moulin Rouge, but we went with Australia.
And yes, Australian Rules is correct. Good job,
Australia
Neil.
with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman.
That's the one.
Like they just took a break from the war in order to play Australian Rules football. Yeah.
Could have been an origin story.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
Well, they cut all the Aussie Rules football scenes in the theatrical release. And
Right.
it's when they re-released it as a miniseries, which everybody was asking for, they re-included the Aussie Rules.
That's right.
I do love
That's
the
right,
idea
I
of them
think-
playing Australian rules football before Australia exists. You know, like the whole movie is about creating the concept of Australia, right?
Yeah, but they had the fire burning within.
They
so
had the
knew.
rules. They
Yes.
just needed the Australia. Yeah. And then the last one, both American football and table tennis. 1994.
We think this is Forrest Gump.
And cross country running.
That's true.
Yeah. We also said Forrest Gump.
I actually think there was a different one for cross country running on the list that I had, but yes.
Wow.
Forrest Gump is correct.
After the swing round, it looks like Training Day picking up 25 points, bringing their total to 107, and extending the lead just slightly is the Caboose is Loose! Picking up 45 points, bringing our total to 130. Still close.
Very much so. All right, let's get into round two. So there won't be a secret theme this time. I'll just give it to you up front. For each of these, I've categorized them after a different jam band, a band that incorporates a lot of improvisation into their musical technique. Most of the time, it's just you'll easily see how the band relates to the question. There's very rarely are these actually a clue. I was just kind of having fun with this category here. So, number one category is Grateful Dead. In the U.S., Thanksgiving is celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. In Canada, Thanksgiving is more than a month earlier, on the second occurrence of what day of the week in October?
All right, so we are thinking about Grateful Dead song titles, and we don't know any Grateful Dead songs. We know maybe two, but they don't have any days of the week in their titles, so we're taking a guess and saying Tuesday.
Yeah. So I was between Monday and Tuesday to begin with. I believe it's early in the week.
Monday's blue, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't care about that.
Well, it's a very manic one if you have all the cooking to do and whatnot. I'm kind of leaning towards Monday. What do you
don't
think?
like that answer, if you know what I mean, Julia.
Yeah, I mean, I was also between Monday and Tuesday, so let's make it a real game. Let's pick the other one.
Yeah, we got to pick up some ground. So
Yeah.
let's go Monday.
So we have one team saying Monday, one team saying Tuesday. Grateful Dead here was just grateful linking to Thanksgiving. I wasn't trying to lead you to a clue. But Monday, can't trust that day. It is indeed Monday.
Nice.
Hooray.
Good guess in there.
Some people got this because this year, Canadian Thanksgiving was also the U.S.'s Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. They happen to fall on the same date this year.
Interesting.
All right, number two, Dead and Company. What is the name of the Dead company that closed all brick and mortar stores in 2023, only to have its brand name registered by the online retailer formerly known as Overstock.com a few months later? Your mom still has their coupons in a drawer somewhere. All right, Training Day's locked in.
All right, what companies just closed? 2
All
years
of
ago?
them.
Well, I'm excited because they're opening up the first Toys R Us in forever here. They have a single store here. But I remember Overstock. It's not. I mean, Wayfair.
No, they were absorbed by Overstock.
Absorbed. By
No, I think
Overstock.
Overstock just bought the domain name.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
redirected everything.
Oh, just bought the domain.
Just to crush them further.
All brick and mortar stores in 20. So we're looking for us. I mean, if Overstock bought them, and they have like furniture and,
Venture?
well, yeah, Venture. I was thinking of too, but that's so long ago.
25 years ago.
Yeah,
I really don't know. Kmart?
yeah. I guess maybe Kmart. Yeah.
All right, so we really don't know on this one. Thinking of stores we don't see too much anymore. Maybe Kmart?
We're gonna say Bed Bath and Beyond.
And that is correct. Bed Bath & Beyond.
Wow.
Julia, sounds
Nice-
like maybe
nice
you
poll.
have some of their coupons in a drawer
I might
somewhere.
have some of their coupons in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
I should have known that because in Oak Park there was a big Bed Bath & Beyond, and it just turned into an Aldi. And it just opened.
Just turned into a Beyond.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is the last Kmart in America did just close like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it
wow.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so you were on the right track.
I
there.
was just guessing.
But yeah, the same way that Toys R Us you're talking about, Neal, Macy's just bought all of the IP from Toys R Us. Like, there's nothing about the original Toys R Us involved with it. It was just a section of Macy's, and now Macy's is just opening up separate stores for Toys R Us. In the same way, Overstock.com just said, well, we're Bed Bath & Beyond now. No one's using it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Macy's slit Jeffrey Giraffe's throat. You work for us.
Took
And
them
then
a
wore
really
his
long
skin.
time to do that.
All right, number 3 category is pigeons playing ping pong. This band takes its name from a real experiment conducted by what psychologist considered the father of operant conditioning?
Yeah, that's what I had too.
All right, we're locked in.
Matt, what's his name?
Pavlov?
Yeah, great.
Okay. Great talk.
All right, they're
Good
saying
audio.
Pavlov. What do you say, Cabooses Loose?
We do know Pavlov as being associated with the conditioning. We said maybe it was Alan Parsons' project, though.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No points for either team. A lot of his experiments were mice going through mazes to get cheese. This is B.F. Skinner.
Oh.
B.F. Skinner.
I've
Big
never heard of that
freaking
before.
So he got some pigeons to play ping pong?
Yeah, you can look it up. Google pigeons playing ping pong, but then put like B.F. Skinner, because otherwise you're going to get live shows of the band.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just search for that on YouTube, they have it's black and white videos of 2 pigeons on either side of a ping pong table whacking a little ball across at each other with their beaks.
Speaking of Skinner, can it be that I'm out of touch and I had no idea about this question? No, it's the host who was wrong.
This was actually a double stumper for my playtesters also, so didn't realize so many people have forgotten their AP psychology knowledge.
Yeah,
Unless they never had it to begin
Unless they
with.
never took AP psychology.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point. All right, let's move on. Let's do better in this next one. Round 2, question 4. Category is widespread panic. In 1919, widespread property destruction across Boston and the deaths of 21 people were caused by a flood of what?
We're locked in.
We also locked in. Misinformation did a whole episode that included information about this. And we're going to go with molasses.
All right.
Yeah, we also said molasses.
I did not realize Julia would be on today's show. The answer is molasses.
She's an expert.
I should have.
I
I know that she's on some episodes now. I should have just avoided any
No,
questions that
don't
were a
avoid
misinformation
anything.
topic.
Yeah, I
No.
would put them all on there. Just make a whole game.
I can imagine that if Boston had a lot of like cartoon characters living there, they would just eat their way out of the flood.
Yeah,
they would have been fine. But
But it's so funny. Like people
it's odd how it's so tragic, but it's also like sweet and delicious. You know.
right.
And they would say, like, for years, you could on the wind, you could smell the molasses coming out of the buildings. Like,
Probably could.
To this
But it's probably
day.
nauseating.
yeah.
I would imagine.
Number 5 category is disco biscuits. Anzac biscuits are a popular Antipodean treat made of rolled oats and coconut. Anzac is an acronym that was primarily used in World War I. What does it stand for?
Okay, so you guys locked in, and you think you know parts of it.
I know some parts of it. I just need your help on let's work it out together. So ANZ is Australia, New Zealand. And then for like AC, I'm like armed conflict, army cookie. Ooh, is it army cookie?
It could be. I was thinking that the C was probably cookie at the end because it's a biscuit. So, so Australian, New Zealand army cookies, army.
Yep, let's do it. We're gonna say our team is gonna say Australia, New Zealand army cookies.
Saying army cookie biscuit is like saying ATM machine.
That's right.
Look, they were doing a lot when they were establishing Australia. Okay, they couldn't worry about redundancy.
A whole country over here, yeah.
So hopefully all of our Australian listeners will be happy. So they have a Australian rules football game in commemoration of Anzac Day, which is April 25th. It's a big game in remembrance of the soldiers that went to Gallipoli, which was a movie made with Mel Gibson and Peter Weir, the director of The Truman Show. Anyway, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, because it was for the people who went over to Gallipoli.
Yep, and Neal got all my flavor text too, exactly. I was going to say, we were just talking about the movie Australia, and then Gallipoli, it's just right after the events of that movie. The answer is Australia, New Zealand Army Corps. Let's
Tragic
do a
movie,
score
too.
check.
Yeah, for the score check, it looks like Training Day picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 137, and slightly getting a lead again is the Caboose is Loose, picking up just 20 points in the last two questions, bringing our total to 150. So still a very close game.
Training Day is picking up some ground. Yeah,
we just can't get enough going. That's the problem.
All right, round 2, question 6. Category is fish. What is the state marine fish of California? A bright orange fish named after the military leader who was responsible for Italian unification.
It's not that.
No, I don't think so. What about much?
That's why when you go to the markets, like it's cooked versions of this fish are strung up on the wall.
I thought that's where you were going with that. Yeah.
It's got a big chin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have no idea here, so we're just taking a stab in the dark, if you will.
So I lived in California. Didn't do much fishing, unfortunately. There's a lot of merchandise that it's like a gold trout type fish. But it's not, I don't know who it's named after. It's like a golden trout. That's what it is. I don't know if it has a different name or whatever.
Okay.
What do you know about Italian unification?
It was in the late 19th century.
Okay.
Predating Mussolini. So the Mussolini fish is out. Your guess is as good as mine. I like golden trout. That sounds lovely.
Yeah, he played for the Angels. We're going to say golden trout.
Giuseppe Golden Trout. All right.
During the recording here, Ken just Mr. Miyagi'd a flea in his hand by just closing his hand on it. It was great.
It was very cool. I wish everybody could see it, but unfortunately, podcast. We said the Caesar fish because we had no idea.
All right. 10 points to me then. The answer is Garibaldi.
Oh.
Garibaldi.
I know Garibaldi for his biscuits.
Oh, okay.
It's fish.
Well,
we're not on biscuits anymore. We've moved on.
Then his brother Ghirardelli for the chocolate.
Actually, Ghirardelli is a San Francisco brand. I play tested this with some of my bar regulars, and one of them did guess Ghirardelli. He's like, it's not Ghirardelli, but it's not Ghirardelli. It's something like that. It's very close. He's like,
very correct
now
statement.
I just want chocolate.
When was Garibaldi around? What time period is this?
This is like the 1870s, 1880s.
Okay.
He got a bunch of all of the individual city-states to unite together and form an army to tell the papal states, hey, you guys got to just be a country with us. And so that's why they made a treaty to make the Vatican a tiny little country rather than like owning half of Italy.
We may not all get along and see eye to eye, but we all know that you can't break your spaghetti in half before you boil it.
There you go. All right, number 7. Category is dogs in a pile. What is the 2-word name of the little girl who is the companion of Clifford the Big Red Dog? She's American, so you won't find her in France or ruling England.
I can lock this in for us, Matt.
Good. That's good.
All right. Training day's locked in.
It's something Elizabeth, right?
Probably. She's American. So...
Marie Elizabeth?
Well, or we just combine France and England. What's Queen Marie. Yeah, Marie Elizabeth, like Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, it's not. Is it Mary Elizabeth?
Probably. Yeah, that sounds American to me. Mary Elizabeth.
But he says France, so.
But maybe that's just a clue.
I think Marie Elizabeth.
Marie Elizabeth. Okay.
All right, you're going with Marie Elizabeth. Julia, you got this right away.
Yes, we reread this once a week in our house. This is Emily Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's right. Emily Elizabeth. Emily in Paris was the clue there.
I saw you.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Isn't
since
she going to be
Clifford.
Emily in Rome coming up?
Yeah,
too,
she's
think,
going
right?
to Italy. I think they're still going to call it Emily in Paris, but she's going to Italy. Yeah.
Emily in Paris, Too Fast to Rome or something.
Yeah. The French president had to make a statement about it, about how upset he was
that she was leaving Paris,
going to Italy.
Emily in Paris, Rome across the world.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
It's much better.
Anybody from Netflix listening?
Yeah, right.
yeah. Give Matt money. All right. Round 2, question 8. Category is Dark Star Orchestra. In what orchestra section would you find a euphonium?
Reluctant.
Yep.
All right.
Is this what do you think? Is this a brass?
It's like a big trumpet.
Big trumpet?
Yeah.
Or a little tuba.
Or a little tuba, sure.
So it's a horn?
Friend of both our podcasts, Andrew Thomas, played the euphonium, and he something on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire ended up getting points for when he was a phone a friend because
you phone a friend.
Exactly.
So the section is
we all phone a friend.
The section is brass, right? Is brass right, Matt?
I don't know. Brass is a section.
Yeah,
it's brass.
Yeah,
brass.
You said brass.
Yeah, both teams are correct. It is brass. Yeah, Lil Tuba, funny enough, that was my nickname in high school. Yeah.
Great name.
No, I'm kidding.
That's a good name, though.
Yeah. All right, number 9, category is Goose. What actor was originally cast to play Mark Wahlberg's role in The Lovely Bones, but was fired because he thought the character should be fat, so without consulting the director, he showed up to the first day of filming 60 pounds heavier than when he was hired?
We're locked in. I love this story because Saoirse Ronan even was like, take back. Like, what's going on?
So the category clue is about Goose.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think it's Goose from Top Gun.
Who was
Mark
Goose from
Green?
Top Gun? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Anthony Edwards.
But a baby goose is a
Gosling.
So I think it might be
Gosling
Good.
is hilarious. So this sounds like something you would do.
Yes. I like your answer.
So Ryan Gosling.
All right, they're locked in with Ryan Gosling. What do you say, Caboose is loose?
We
on
concur.
this Goose?
We concur.
Yeah, it is indeed Ryan Gosling. Yeah, he got the role and then he proceeded to drink nothing but melted ice cream for a month in order to gain 60 pounds quickly. And then he just walked on set and Peter Jackson said, let's go talk over here. Let's go over here and talk. And just fired him and said, okay, we're shooting scenes without him today. We'll get a new guy next week. And they ended up casting Mark Wahlberg within that week.
Good for Mark Wahlberg. He wasn't hanging out at Wahlburgers, so he didn't also gain 60 pounds.
Right, he's up at 3 a.m. working out or whatever he does.
Yeah,
Jimmy
whatever
Butler.
he's doing. Yeah, he was ready. He was just ready to be dropped into a movie role. Imagine that call. Hey, do you want to star into a movie tomorrow? Yeah. All right, and the final question of the round. Shout out to my favorite band, Love Mischief. You know Loki as the Norse god of mischief. What is the name of his mother? In the Edda, she is a forest spirit, but in the Marvel Thor movies, she is a frost giant and a man.
Okay, we're locked in because we don't know, so it's going to be bad.
Okay, Matt, I got 2 names.
Good, I have 0. I'll choose one of yours.
I'm pretty sure it's either Freya or Frigg.
Okay.
Did either of them sound like they work with all the Marvel
Freya
stuff?
I don't know about in Marvel. I know that that's a common. I've heard the name in Norse mythology a lot, but I don't think of it associated with Loki as much. You want to go with what was the other one?
Frigg.
We can go with Frigg.
All right, they're going with Frigg.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. We just went with the Freya, although we don't think it's correct.
And we are ending this round with a double stumper. It's Lofi. Lofi, and Lofi in Thor, Neal, played by Colm Fiore.
Or Fiore, that's right. That's right.
Not
That
Colm
sounds
Meaney.
so. They're like, what should we name his mom? I don't know. His name's Lofi.
I love putting on the Lofi channel on YouTube when I'm trying to relax.
beats the study too.
Lofi, Laufey. Yeah. Laufey.
Laufey.
Yeah.
After regulation, the game is very, very close. So the final 5 questions look like Training Day got 3 correct, bringing their total to 167. And the Caboose is loose, only getting 2 correct in the final 5, but their total is going to be 170. So only 3 points is separating both teams. Very, very close game. Before the final round categories, Yael, you are a patron, which we very much appreciate.
Yeah.
Would you like to just tell us, what do you get out of Patreon, and hopefully you enjoy it, all the bonus content that you get, just to let others know about it.
Yeah, I love the bonus content. I've really been loving the mini games each week that you guys have been doing. I think that's been not even the mini games, the special bonus games that you guys do every single week. Now you've added in the mini games as well. I think those are on the main feed though. But the bonus games that y'all do where you're each one of you gets to take a turn riding around is so much fun. It's so great to see each of your different personalities come through as you do the games together. And I love getting questions answered in the crop drop as well. I think that's super fun. Being able to post a question and then hear you all answer it in a kind of free-form space. It's great. And also, I just love supporting, one of my favorite trivia podcasts. So
we appreciate that. And
thanks so much.
And yeah, speaking of that, if you support us over at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, not only do you get all that bonus content Yael was talking about and some other great perks with, no ads and things like that, but it allows us to do all the stuff we're doing on the main feed, like Bloodsport, and the Triviality mini games, which come out every week, the 10 questions in 10 minutes. So if you continue to support us and we can continue to grow, we can keep doing more things for you. All right. What are the categories for the final round, Yael?
Yeah. So last round, we did one of my interests, which is psychedelic music. I also love horror and sci-fi novels. So this round is going to be all these categories are going to be based on the novels of Stephen King. So question 1 is fairy tale. That's a question about fairies, the method of transport. Number 2 is misery. That's about the state of Missouri. Number 3 is the Institute. That's about scientific research. Number 4 is it. That's a question about information technology. And number 5 is Carrie. That's about Sex and the City.
All right, the wagers are locked in. We have Training Day going all in. We're being a little more conservative, going 15s on these, except for Sex and the City, because, Neal's an expert. So,
Number 1, fairy tale, fairies. If you take a ferry from Ludington to Manitowoc, which lake are you crossing? Number 2, misery. Independence, Missouri is not just a Kansas City suburb. It is also a sacred place for what religious movement as the site of Temple Lot? Number 3, the Institute. What is the former name for the scientific research nonprofit Breakthrough T1D? They changed their name in 2024 in recognition that type 1 diabetes does not only affect children. Number 4, it. HTTP is the foundation of the World Wide Web. What does HTTP stand for? And number 5, Carrie. What is the name of the creator of Sex and the City, who also shined with such shows as Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, and the aforementioned Emily in Paris?
all right, we have our questions. We'll be right back with our answers.
History never says goodbye. It just says, see you later. Edward Galeano was right when he said that. Events keep happening over and over again in some form. And that's the reason I produce the podcast, My History Can Beat Up Your Politics. What is it? We take stories of history and apply them to the events of today to help you perhaps understand them better. We are also part of Airwave Media Network. I've been doing the program since 2006. That's a long time, and the show has a long name. My history can beat up your politics. Find me wherever you get podcasts.
Everybody shush! William Shatner has something to say.
Cat and Jethro, box of oddities.
What do you do when the woman you love dies? Well, of course you dig her up and you live with her.
Aww.
The show examines weird things.
There are plenty of old photographs from this time period of children out in the streets playing in and among the dead horse carcasses.
Oh, I miss those days. Things used to be so much simpler.
Cat and Jethro.
Then there's the urine wheel, which sounds like a really bad game show.
Thing done weird things. Cat and Jethro, box of oddities. That is really mysterious.
Join Cat and Jethro Gilligan Toth for the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected as they lift the lid and cautiously peer inside the Box of Oddities.
The Webby Award-winning Box of Oddities podcast from Airwave Media.
Hey there, I'm Dylan Lewis, one of the hosts of Motley Fool Money. Each weekday on Motley Fool Money, we talk through the business news you need to know and the stories moving stocks on Wall Street. On weekends, we dive into the industries shaping tomorrow and host the experts, authors, and executives that understand them. Tune in for insights, a long-term perspective on investing, and of course, stock ideas. Plenty of them. To quote a listener, it pays to listen. Check us out and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, we are back and we have the answers, hopefully. Julia's looking pretty confident. She's calling her shot. She said, I'm going to crush you guys, and we'll see when and if that happens. But Yael, why don't you go ahead and give us questions one more time?
Sure. Number 1, fairy tale. If you take a ferry from Ludington to Manitowoc, which lake are you crossing?
We said that these questions being related to Stephen King was a bit eerie, so we said Lake Erie.
We are going with Lake Michigan.
It is indeed Lake Michigan.
Damn. Shucks.
Number 2, Misery. Independence, Missouri is not just a Kansas City suburb. It is also a sacred place for what religious movement as the site of Temple Lot?
We said Mormonism.
We also went with Mormonism. This is one we were kind of wavering on, but Matt recently watched a South Park episode on Mormonism, and we decided.
So now I'm an expert.
Yes.
Yeah. Most correct answer here is the Latter-day Saints movement, but I will accept Mormonism. Number 3, what is the former name for the scientific research nonprofit Breakthrough T1D?
We had no idea, so we're just tapping out on this one.
We think their name before was the JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
And that is correct. Julia's right. It is JDRF. Number 4, HTTP is the foundation of the World Wide Web. What does HTTP stand for?
We said Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
We also went with Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
Yes. All right, both teams got that right. Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
It doesn't stop us from being crushed, though.
Yeah, we're getting crushed.
And then number 5, Carrie, what is the name of the creator of Sex and the City? Also the creator of Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, Emily in Paris. And during the break, Julia and I and Matt were talking about Younger as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we said Darren Star.
We said Darren Star.
And Darren Star is correct.
The final round is over, and it looks like training day.
So is our lives.
Our lives. Training day went Denzel on us over here. But it looks like Caboose is loose, only picking up 30 in the final round, which brings our total to a clean 200, but it just wasn't enough because Julia and Matt, it sounds like mostly Julia, crushed us here with a perfect final round, picking up 150 points, bringing their total to 317, making them today's cream of the crop.
Crop rules everything around me.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did know 4 of those.
Yeah. This is a very
okay.
Yeah,
Matt
but
and I are a
Julia
good
made
team.
me smoke crack.
Yeah.
So.
That's right. Well, yeah, great game, guys.
Awesome game.
Yeah.
Come from behind
Yael,
win, too. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a final. I mean, the final round. It was like the candy bar Babe Ruth, right? Calling the shot. Yael, thank you so much for this game. Great questions, great themes. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, anything you'd like to say, where people can find your game in San Francisco, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Been looking forward to this for a while. Shout out to my wife, Kiana, for booking me this weekend in this lovely train caboose and for sitting outside and taking care of the dog while I recorded this. Kiana actually works for Breakthrough T1D and has type 1 diabetes herself. So if you or someone you know has type 1 diabetes, you want to find out how you can get involved with events in your local area for fundraising, please go to breakthrought1d.org. I also want to shout out my playtesters, Izzy, Mickey, Marissa, and John. They helped me make this game happen. Thank you guys so much. And if you are in San Francisco, come check out my trivia nights every Tuesday at the Red Tail and every Wednesday at El Lopo. There's more details on my website, which is hellanerdy.games. Or you can find me on Instagram. I'm a lithiometrist there. And I talk about my life, my dog, and all the games that I host there.
Amazing.
That was pro.
That was pro. Yeah, that's a pro read there. So yeah, definitely check out all of the things that Yael is doing. It sounds amazing. And thank you to all of our patrons, obviously including Yael, for helping us out. Ken, we'd also like to give a shout out to Airwave Media.
Yeah, that's right. They're our network. We love Airwave Media. You could check out other shows such as Calm History, The Constant, and The Labors of Hercule.
Labors of Hercule, Little Gray Cells. I still have to listen to that show, actually. I have to get on that.
Unbelievable. Get on it, Neal.
I know. I really do have to get on it. Thank you to Airwave Media. Thank you to Yael, to Julia for always joining us, making our episodes just that much sweeter. Thank you, Julia. And Matt, thanks for being here. Jeff, hopefully
he's convalescing right now.
yeah, Jeff is convalescing, exactly. But yeah, thanks to Ken, Julia, Yael, Matt, and Jeff. My name is Neal. We'll see you next week on another episode of Triviality.